bilan pre-intermediate kursimizning 11-unit haqida gaplashamiz va bu yerda ikkinchi qism 11.2 breaking news, ya'ni shoshilinch xabarlar. Goals, bu qismdan maqsadlarimiz talk about past habits and situations. O'tgan zamondagi, o'tmishdagi odatlarimiz va vaziyatlar haqida gaplashish. Talk about the news, yangiliklar haqida gaplashish. Grammar and reading, grammatika va o'qish mahorati. Use it to, ya'ni o'tgan zamonda bajarishgan, o'tgan zamondagi habit, odatlarni ko'rsatadigan struktura. Exercise 1. Work in a group, discuss the questions. Guruhlarda ishlang va berilgan gaplarni muhokama qiling. 1. How often do you read, listen to, or watch the news? 2. Do you prefer to get news from the TV, television, radio, newspapers, or online, and why? Videoni pauza qilgan holda bu savollarga yozma ravishda javob berishga urinib ko'ring. Keling endi taxminiy javoblarni ko'rib chiqamiz. 1. Well, I very rarely, occasionally watch or read or listen to news because I don't think that they are important for me. I just only follow the spheres that I'm really interested in. 2. And I prefer to get news online because, well, when you're getting news online, you can just filter the information and you just don't get all the unnecessary information that you don't need, and you just you're able to get all the news that only you are interested in. Exercise 2. In your group, look at the 3 pictures of news events from the past. What do you know about them? How long do you think it took for news of each event to travel to other side of the world? Kichik guruhlarda ishlang va bu qismdagi rasmlarga qaragan holda va rasmlardagi o'tmishda bo'lgan yangiliklar yoki hodisalarga qarang va bu hodisalar haqida nimani bilasiz va bu hodisalarning haqidagi yangiliklarning dunyoning bir qismidan ikkinchi qismiga yetib borishigacha qancha vaqt ketganligini taxmin qilishga harakat qilib ko'ring. Exercise 3. Quickly read the article and check your answer for exercise 2. Berilgan maqolani tezda o'qishga harakat qiling va ikkinchi mashqdagi savollaringizni va berilgan javoblarni tekshirib ko'rishga urining. Keling endi javoblarni birgalikda ko'rib chiqamiz. Death of Abraham Lincoln. Nearly 2 weeks, telegraph had not been invented. 2. Eruption of Krakatoa. Minutes. Using the new invention of undersea electrical telegraph wires. Plane landing in Hudson River. Minutes. People who were there posted comments and photos on Twitter. Exercise 5. Look at these sentences and answer the questions. Berilgan gaplarni o'qing va berilgan savollarga javob berishga harakat qiling. A. People used to go to the cinema to watch the news. B. Ordinary people didn't used to buy newspapers very often. Keling endi javoblarni birgalikda ko'rib chiqamiz. 1. Do people go to the cinema to see the news now? It's no. 2. Did they go to the cinema once or more than once? It's more than once. 3. Do people buy more newspapers now? Yes. 4. How do we make the negative form of used to? It's didn't, used to. Exercise 6. Complete the rules in the grammar focus box with the words did, not, and once. Demak, bu qismda grammar focus qutchamizdagi qoidalarni did, not va once so'zlarini ishlatgan holda to'ldirishingiz kerak bo'ladi. Grammar focus. Use it to. We use it to plus infinitive to talk about habits and situations that were true in the past but are not true now. Demak, bu qismda biz use it to va fe'lning birinchi shaklidagi strukturani o'tgan zamonda yoki o'tmishda to'g'ri bo'lgan hodisalar va habits, ya'ni demak odatlar haqida gapirish uchun, lekin hozirda to'g'ri bo'lmagan, hozirda aktual bo'lmagan holatlar uchun ishlatamiz. It used to take few weeks for news to travel to a different continent. Demak, bu qismda berilgan misol bo'yicha boshqa kontinentga ma'lumotlar yetib borishi uchun haftalar ketgan. We can't use it to talk about something which only happened once. Demak, biz use it to strukturasini faqatgina o'tmishda oldin bir martagina sodir bo'lgan hodisalar uchun ishlata olmaymiz. In 2009, plane crashed in the Hudson River. Not in 2009, a plane used to crash in the Hudson River. Faqatgina bir marta bo'lgan ish harakatlarda used to emas, balki past simple did strukturasi ishlatiladi. We use the auxiliary verb didn't in negative sentences and questions. Demak, bu qismda biz inkor gaplar va savollarda did va didn't yordamchi fe'llarini ishlatamiz va bu qismda in the past people didn't used to send texts. How did people used to get their news? Exercise 7. Rewrite the sentences with used to, didn't used to where possible. Demak, bu qismda berilgan gaplarni used to va didn't used to strukturalarini ishlatgan holda qaytadan yozishga harakat qilib ko'ring. Keling, endi javoblarni birgalikda ko'rib chiqamiz. 1. Mobile phones didn't have cameras. Mobile phones didn't used to have cameras. 2. In the 1940s, people listened to the radio to get the latest news. In the 1940s, people used to listen to the radio to get the latest news. 3. Jack Dorsey, who started Twitter, sent the world's first tweet in 2006. Here we cannot use it. Demak, bu qismda bir martalik hodisa voqea bo'lganligi uchun ham use to strukturasini ishlata olmaymiz. 4. Before the 1850s, newspapers didn't contain photos. Before the 1850s, newspapers didn't used to contain photos. 5. Newspaper apps became popular in the early 21st century. Bu qismda ham mashhurlik bir marta sodir bo'lganligi uchun ham use to strukturasini ishlata olmaymiz. 6. Before the telegraph, it took 10 days by horse to deliver news across the USA. Demak, bu qismda esa bizda before the telegraph, it used to take 10 days by horse to deliver news across the USA. Exercise 8. Work with a partner. Talk about how your lives have changed, using the ideas below or your own ideas. Whose life has changed the most and why? O'z sheringiz bilan ishlang va o'zingizning hayotingiz qanchalik va qanaqa tarzda o'zgarganligini haqida gaplashing va bu qismda o'zingizning fikrlaringiz yoki berilgan fikrlarni ishlatishingiz mumkin. Whose life has changed the most? Demak, kimning hayoti eng ko'p, eng kuchli tarzda o'zgarganligini va bunga sababni topishga harakat qiling va bu yerda example answer. I used to live in Paris. When did you live there? In 1995. And where do you live now? Madrid. I moved because of my job. But we're the example ideas, the people you live with, the way you spend your weekends, the place where you live, the music you listen to, the things you worry about, the books you read, clothes you wear, the things you spend your money on. Videoni pauza qilgan holda bu mashqni yozma ravishda bajarishga urinib ko'ring. Keling, endi taxminiy javoblarni ko'rib chiqamiz. Well, I used to live with my family, now I live alone. I used to spend my weekends watching movies and going out with friends. Now I spend my weekends working and mostly reading books. I used to live in Navoiyid, but now I live in Tashkent. I used to listen to rock music, but I don't listen to music now. I used to worry about my marks, my university. Now, mostly I worry about business because it's just quite stressful and I worry about finances. I used to read books on fiction, novels, but I mostly read philosophy and non-fiction books. I used to wear t-shirts, but I wear shirts now. And I used to spend my money on mostly clothes. But now I just don't care. I just spend money on business. I just reinvest all the money that I have. Vocabulary and speaking. Lug'at boyligi va nutq mahorati. The news, yangiliklar. Exercise 9. Complete the sentences. Use the highlighted words in exercise 4. Demak, berilgan gaplarni tugating, to'ldiring va bu qismda 4-mashqda berilgan ajratib ko'rsatilgan so'zlarni ishlatishni unutmang. Keling, endi javoblarni birgalikda ko'rib chiqamiz. 1. The news you get on social media sites such as Twitter is always up to date. 2. Natural disasters like floods and forest fires affect thousands of people every year. 3. I read a couple of interesting articles in today's newspaper about science and technology. 4. There was a car crash on the motorway this morning, but nobody was hurt. 5. A journalist's job is to find and report news as quickly and correctly as possible. 6. How long did it take Apollo 11 to reach the moon? 7. International news spread very slowly before the telegraph was invented. 8. I used to read a newspaper every day. Now I read a weekly paper on a Sunday. Yana bir e'tibor qilishingiz kerak bo'lgan qism bu 8-gapda on a Sunday. Demak, hafta kunlari bilan biz artikel ishlatmaganligimiz sababli bu qismda on Sunday yoki on Sundays shaklida to'g'ri bo'ladi. Exercise 10. Complete the sentences to make them true for you. Then compare your ideas with a partner. Ask each other questions to find out more. Demak, bu qismda bu berilgan gaplarni siz uchun to'g'ri ravishda to'ldirishingiz kerak va o'z fikrlaringizni sherigingiz bilan taqqoslagan holda qo'shimcha ma'lumotlar topish uchun bir-biringizdan savol so'rashingiz kerak bo'ladi. Keling, endi taxminiy javoblarni ko'rib chiqamiz. 1. If I want up-to-date news, I go to Twitter. 2. I think Onion has very interesting articles. And Babylon B2. 3. I don't think ordinary people should report the news because they have biased opinion and they may not have all the facts. 4. I sometimes never use social media to share articles and photos with friends because they can do it, they can have the videos about the news from professional sites. 5. I don't read a weekly newspaper because I'm not really interested in news. Exercise 11. Divide the words and phrases in the box into the following categories. Demak, bu qismda berilgan so'zlarni quyidagi kategoriyalarga belgilab chiqishimiz kerak bo'ladi. A. Natural disasters. B. Man-made news events. Keling, endi javoblarni birgalikda ko'rib chiqamiz. Flood, natural disaster. Election, man-made. Forest fire, maybe natural, maybe man-made. Hurricane, natural disaster. Robbery, man-made. Transport strike, also man-made. Exercise 12. Task, work in a group. Choose one recent news story each. Explain what happened and why it interested you. Guruhlarda ishlang va har biringiz yaqinda bo'lgan yangiliklardan birini tanlang va nima sodir bo'lganligini va bu nimaga siz uchun qiziqarli bo'lganligini tushuntirishga harakat qiling. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z nihoyasiga yetdi. Sizni keyingi darslarda kutib qolamiz.